Hi everybody, meteorologist David Paul with you with a Hurricane Ian update. This is Wednesday evening, September the 28th, and the storm has made landfall. It is now weakening after officially making landfall with the center of the center crossing over the Florida coast officially at 3:10 p.m. Eastern near Cayo Costa, Florida, with max winds of 150 miles an hour. This will be one of the top 10 strongest storms to ever strike the state of Florida. It is a very rare event to get a hurricane that strong making landfall anywhere on the United States coast, let alone the Florida coast. So the center of this storm actually did pan out with the forecast we had last night. Remember, you got counterclockwise winds around the center. So as this came in, it did push water into Fort Myers and up into the bay. And so this is where you had 10, 15, 18-foot plus storm surge. And the surge came in hours before the official landfall, as it often does. For Tampa Bay, we had the offshore winds. And you've seen the video. Tampa Bay drained out in many spots as the offshore winds strong enough to push the water out of Tampa Bay. So the Tampa area avoided any of the storm surge flooding there. While Fort Myers and the Bay it's just devastation here, and it's going to be a long time, and folks here are going to need a lot of help as the cleanup begins and continues over the coming weeks and months. Big picture, there's the storm. It's now Category 2, winds of 105 miles an hour as of 8 o'clock on this Wednesday evening. You can see how the upper level winds are pulling the upper level cloud tops, racing them off to the north and east. You can also see how the storm has transitioned over the last 12 hours from a strengthening Cat 4. It had winds offshore of 155. As it started to interact with land, they dropped to 150. And you can see the difference of a hurricane over water, pulling energy off the warm water, and then it's cut off from its energy supply, and the center begins to fill, and pressures go up. Pressures bottomed out below 940 millibars, and now they're up to 965 millibars. As that number goes up, the strength of the wind speed goes down. The storm is moving north-northeast at 8 miles an hour. And as it's weakening over land, it's dumping a tremendous amount of rain. Let's look at the forecast from the Hurricane Center first. This is going to brush by Orlando as we head into Thursday morning as either a weak Cat 1 or a strong tropical storm. Hurricane Center has it between Orlando and Daytona Beach at 1 p.m. Thursday afternoon as a 65-mile-an-hour tropical storm. Forecast from the Hurricane Center does take this back into the Atlantic Ocean. It stays as a 65-mile-an-hour tropical storm, but this is going to sling some wind and rain into Jacksonville, into the Georgia coast, into Savannah, and up into Charleston as it's near Savannah as a 65-mile-an-hour tropical storm Friday afternoon. Forecast then takes it inland through South Carolina, right through Columbia, South Carolina. That's Saturday morning, so Friday night into early Saturday morning, and then the forecast takes it up into Asheville, Winston-Salem, North Carolina as it starts to interact with the Appalachian Mountains. That could be a significant rainmaker. Its winds weaken out of 25 miles an hour at that point. It is really just a remnant low and a rain maker. Let's talk about the rain as we look at future tracks. So here's Orlando as it grazes by as maybe a weak Cat 1, 8:30 Thursday morning. But notice the rain displaced to the north of the center. That is probably exactly how this is going to play out. So although the center of rotation may be near Orlando in the morning, it's raining Daytona Beach to Jacksonville, all the way up to Savannah by 8:30 Thursday morning. We go into Thursday and then Friday early morning. Thursday night, early Friday morning, the center may be east of Jacksonville, but look at how all the rain is well displaced. That's the upper level winds doing their thing, carrying the moisture to the north, and they're spreading out as well at the upper level. So that's going to create a lot of upward motion, and you'll get rain from Charleston to Myrtle Beach, all the way up to the Outer Banks. A little bit of rain in Raleigh and Norfolk. That's Friday, early Friday morning. Charleston, you may see some of the heavier rain going into Friday mid-morning. There's the rain moving into North Carolina, into the Virginias as well, up the Delmarva. We get into Saturday, so Friday night, Saturday morning, rain, Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, New York, Jersey, heavy rain forecast for you going into early Saturday morning. So Saturday's a rainy day for the big population centers of the Northeast United States, even though the center of the storm may still be down here in the Carolinas. Rain totals across Florida. I've already seen some rain totals that have exceeded 10 to 15 inches. we're going to end up with 2 feet in some spots. So it's rain flooding and the surge flooding. And then look at the rainfall potential. This is through Saturday evening. So just looking at the legend, when you start getting into the orange and yellows, you're talking about 5, 6, 7 inches plus. Coast of Georgia, coastal Carolina, interior Carolina, that's a possibility of 7 inches plus for you guys. North Carolina, definitely 4, 5, 6, 7 inches of rain possible in many spots. You get into the Appalachians, it interacts with the mountains, you get orographic lifting, you're going to see 4, 5, 6 inches of rain here. So flash flooding threat well into the Virginias, the Carolinas, eastern Tennessee and Kentucky is going to be a real threat going through the coming weekend. Here's the big picture, steering currents up at 34,000 feet. There's our storm over Florida now. You can see how the trough has dipped down. It's going to grab it and begin to pull it. But what happens with this trough is you watch how it evolves. It's a positively tilted trough right now, tilted back to the southwest. But this is going to kink on itself. See how it bends back? So that's what's going to help to pull the storm back inland. And with the divergent winds at the upper levels going into Friday and Saturday, that's what's going to have this be a potential very heavy rainmaker for the coast of Georgia and the Carolinas to begin with going into Friday and Saturday. Look at how this trough evolves, bent back on itself. Little upper level low here over the Ohio Valley. That will also expand the rainfall potential there into the Virginias, Carolinas, eastern Kentucky. This is Sunday, early Sunday morning. Heavy rain is a possibility. And then the system just kind of sits here. A lot of moisture, upper level trough. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you get the idea, we could have a significant rain threat, Carolinas, Virginias, this weekend into Monday. It really doesn't eject until Tuesday, Wednesday, then it heads out toward Halifax and St. John's. That's 9 a.m. Friday morning. After that, look at how the jet stream goes zonal west to east, and that will push a clipper through the northeast, and we'll get a strong front through New York and D.C. and then the northeast going into Saturday. This is the 8th of October, so this is a week out. Saturday the 8th, you'll get a strong front in here, some snow up there in Vermont and upstate New York as winter comes in, and there's what's left of our system up there towards St. John's. That is where we stand this evening. I read your comments. Thanks for watching. Questions, any extra comments, hit me up on social. Stay weather smart, stay safe, and we'll keep you updated as we head through the end of the week.